Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. And in this video, I want to give you some more helpful information from the Blue Zones, the documentary I covered a couple of weeks ago that's on Netflix exclusively. If you haven't watched it, you really need to. Regardless of your age, this is going to help you in the long run. Now, I know some people wait until later when they actually start having problems or feeling uncomfortable or not feeling their best to get started on being proactive and doing things to help improve their health and their well-being. I say don't wait till then. It doesn't matter your age. If you're a teen, if you have young children in your household, you're an adult, you are middle-aged, you are older, even if you're elderly in your 80s and 90s, it's never too late to start taking steps to improve your health, feel better, and look better. It's never too late. So in this video, I want to tell you some of the takeaways that are part of the Blue Zones kitchen, which I've also read, and if you haven't seen that video, should be coming up now. Give it a watch. It's an excellent book to read. It came out in 2019, but excellent and helpful information never is irrelevant or goes out of style. So I read the whole thing in one day and then reviewed it because it's simply excellent. So I'm going to give you the Blue Zone food guidelines in case you don't have time to read it, so these can be helpful to you. So these can be helpful to you and your family. But before I get started, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, as well as my other videos on faith, health, beauty, humor, randomness, and everything more all year round. So if you're not familiar with the Blue Zones are areas all around the world where people live to be 100 and older, and they have dietary, mental, physical, and emotional ways of helping. Dan Butner has been writing books on the subject for decades. Finally did the Netflix documentary, and I personally had never heard of him or these studies, and I'm just absolutely fascinated. So I'm going to give you today the Blue Zones food guidelines that have been distilled from more than 150 dietary surveys of the world's longest living people to reveal the secrets of strong longevity regimen. And these are 11 simple guidelines that anyone can do that reflect how the world's longest living people have eaten for most of their lives, for centuries. Now, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Give them a try. And if you want me to make a video in which I tell you more about my experience with these recipes and trying these tips, let me know in the comments below. 1. Ensure that your diet is 90 to 100% plant-based. Now, while people in 4 of the 5 Blue Zones consume meat, they do so sparingly, using it as a celebratory food, a side dish, or even as an ingredient to flavor dishes. And people in Blue Zones tend to eat an impressive variety of garden vegetables and leafy greens. Some of it, yes, even raw. They eat seasonally. They even pickle and dry the surplus of those vegetables and fruits to enjoy during the off-season. Beans, greens, sweet potatoes, whole grain, fruits, nuts, seeds dominate the Blue Zones meals all year long. I'm a raw vegan, so I eat 90% or more of these items in their natural state and raw. You don't have to. You can cook them. They still will be helpful for you. Now, olive oil is also a staple in the Blue Zones. Evidence shows that olive oil consumption increases good cholesterol and lowers bad cholesterol. In Akira, Greece, for example, middle-aged people and older consume about 6 tablespoons of olive oil daily, and it seems to cut the risk of premature mortality in half. Number 2. Retreat from meat. I know. Most of you are carnivores or omnivores, and you love that meat, and it's an important part of every meal you eat every day. Averaging out how much meat you eat will be really beneficial for you. Across the Blue Zones, they found that people ate about 2 ounces of less of meat about 5 times per month. Yes, they even use meat as a garnish rather than as the main part of the meal. Now, the Advantage Health Study, too, which has been following 96,000 Americans since 2002, has determined that the people who lived the longest were vegans or pesco vegetarians who ate a small amount of fish. Vegetarian Adventists still likely outlive their meat-eating counterparts by as many as 8 years, and that's a long time. And while you may like to celebrate from time to time with meat, they don't recommend it as part of a Blue Zone's diet. Okinawans probably offer the best meat substitute, extra firm tofu. It's high in protein, cancer-fighting, with phytoestrogens. But remember, a lot of the tofu in America isn't fermented. You're not going to get the type of benefits they get from theirs. If you can find Japanese tofu, even better. Number 3, go easy on fish. If you have to eat fish or you choose to eat fish, consume fewer than 3 ounces up to 3 times a week. In most Blue Zones, people eat small amounts of fish, up to 3 small servings a week. Usually the fish being eaten are small, relatively inexpensive varieties, which is great for your budget, like sardines, anchovies, and cod, middle of the food chain species that are not exposed to high levels of mercury or other chemicals that pollute the gourmet fish supply today. Now, fish is not a necessary part of a longevity diet, but if you choose to eat it, elect to eat varieties that are common and not threatened by overfishing. Number 4, reduce dairy. I'm a raw vegan. I don't consume dairy at all. If you are lactose intolerant, you probably don't either. But cow's milk doesn't figure significantly in any Blue Zone's diet except that of some Adventists in Loma Linda, California. Goat and sheep milk products figure prominently into the Caribbean and Sardinian Blue Zones. Goat's milk they do ingest is not consumed as a liquid, but is eaten as yogurt, sour milk, or cheese. You also can do some coconut-based and almond-based varieties of these same, thereby reducing and eliminating dairy healthfully and safely as well. Cut down on eggs. Now, I know eggs are a big staple here in the U.S., especially with the prices of meat. A lot of people have turned to taking eggs and using them with egg salad, deviled eggs, and just making them a part of their meal, even slicing and putting them on salads to substitute. But people in all the Blue Zones eat eggs about 2 to 4 times per week, and usually they eat just one as a side. The Koreans like to fold eggs in beans and corn tortillas. Okinawans boil them and add them to soup and miso. And in Sardinia and Icaria, they fry an egg to eat with bread, almonds, and olives for breakfast. Experts recommend that you don't eat more than 3 eggs in a week. And if you have diabetes and heart disease, they really recommend limiting your egg consumption. Again, eggs are one of those items that's not a key component for living a long life, so they don't recommend them. But if you want to eat them and choose to eat them, then try to eat no more than 3 per week and make sure you're getting healthy eggs that are cage-free, organic, or non-GMO. Number 6, eat a daily dose of beans. Now, beans reign supreme in the Blue Zones and are the cornerstone of every longevity diet in the world. Black beans in Nicoya, lentils, garbanzo, and white beans in the Mediterranean, and soybeans in Okinawa. And people in the Blue Zones eat at least 4 times as many beans as Americans do, on average, at least half a cup a day, and I recommend you do too. And on top of that, beans are really easy on your budget. You can get organic beans, non-GMO beans, you can get conventional beans, dried beans, canned beans, frozen beans. Beans are just so easy to come by, and again, they make your shopping budget stretch much farther. You can season them with herbs and spices. You can cook them so many ways, boil them, bake them, slow cook them. They're just so versatile. But why beans? Well, they're packed with more nutrients per gram than any other food on earth. They're made up of 21% protein, 77% complex carbohydrates, and only a few percent fat. And because they're fiber rich and satisfying, they'll be more likely to help you stay full, get full quicker, and eat less if that's your goal. Number 7, they recommend slicing sugar. They recommend only eating about 7 teaspoons of added sugar daily, preferably only 5. People in the Blue Zones eat sugar intentionally, not by habit or accident, and they consume about the same amount of naturally occurring sugars as North Americans do, but only about 1/5 as much added sugar, no more than 7 teaspoons a day. Now, between 1970 and 2000, the amount of added sugar in the American food supply rose by 25%, or 22 teaspoons of added sugar a day. Generally, the result of insidious hidden sugars mixed into soda, yogurt, sauces, chips, processed food, packaged foods is hidden in there, and yeah. So if you must eat sweets, you must eat cookies, candy, and bakery items, For special occasions, it's a good idea. Also, I recommend getting organic or non-GMO. Better yet, making these items yourself. And limit the amount of sugar you add to your coffee, tea, or other foods to no more than 4 teaspoons a day. I like honey and raw agave. You can try those as well. And if you're buying any processed product or prepackaged product, if sugar is one of the first 5 ingredients, they recommend just leaving it altogether. Number 8, snack on nuts. Eat 2 handfuls of nuts per day, and a handful weighs about 2 ounces, the average amount that Blue Zone centenarians consume. Almonds in Icaria and Sardinia, pistachios in Nicoya, and all varieties of nuts with the Advantis in Lunda Loma. Try to snack on a couple handfuls of almonds, Brazil nuts, cashews, walnuts, and or peanuts every day. Why? Those that do outlive non-nut eaters by an average of 2 or 3 years. Number 9, sour on bread. What does that mean? Eat sourdough or whole wheat varieties. Make your own. Buy top quality sourdough, organic, non-GMO, not with bleached flours and additives. You can also eat wheat, whole wheat, rye, and barley, each of which offers a wide spectrum of nutrients. And these grains have higher levels of fiber because they're whole. And when you eat sourdough bread, or you make your own sourdough bread with a starter, the occurring bacteria called lactobacilli digest the starches and glutens while making the bread rise. And this process also creates an acid, the sour in sourdough. And the result is bread with less gluten than breads labeled gluten-free. So this is something I haven't tried yet, but I'm definitely going to try for my family. And this bread actually has a longer shelf life and a pleasantly sour taste that most people like. So give it a try. It can't hurt, but it definitely can help. Number 10, go whole. Strive to eat foods that are recognizable. People in blue zones traditionally eat whole foods, which are made from single ingredients: raw, cooked, ground, fermented. They're not highly processed. And residents eat raw fruits and vegetables. They grind their own whole grains themselves. They cook them slowly. They use fermentation, tofu, sourdough bread, wine, pickled vegetables, and they rarely ingest artificial preservatives. So the Blue Zone's dishes in the cookbook typically contain a half dozen or so ingredients, simply blended together. And number 11, drink mostly water. If possible, strive to avoid soft drinks, including diet soda, which is should never be ingested by anyone. And with very few exceptions, people in blue zones drink only coffee, tea, water, and wine. Soft drinks, which account for about half of Americans' sugar intake, were unknown to most blue zones centenarians until recently. Here's why. Advantis recommends 7 glasses of water daily. They point to studies showing that being hydrated facilitates blood flow and lessens the chance of a blood clot. Coffee. Sardinians, Icarians, and Nicoyans all drink coffee, and research associates coffee drinking with lower rates of dementia and Parkinson's disease. Starbucks, if you're going to have Starbucks, stick to the black coffees or the healthier coffees, not so much to frappuccinos and lattes and all of that. Find your quality coffee and drink it. Tea, and you know how much I love tea. People in every blue zone drink tea. Okinawans prefer green varieties, which have been shown to lower the risk of heart disease and several cancers. Icarians drink brews of rosemary, wild sage, and dandelion, and I can't wait to try the wild sage and rosemary types. And all these particular herbs are known to have anti-inflammatory properties. So go to the store, pick some you think will taste good, get lots of herbal, get the black, get the oolong, get all different types of teas, and find ones that you love and drink some every day. And lastly, red wine. People who drink in moderation tend to outlive those who don't. This doesn't mean you should start drinking if you don't drink now. I'm not a drinker, but people in most blue zones drink 1 to 3 small glasses of red wine per day, often with a meal and with friends. Now I want to point out the type of wine they generally drink is called Canada. They don't have added chemicals. They don't have things that cause cancer the more you drink it. And the wine they drink doesn't cause ulcers and cirrhosis of the liver. So check online, see what others drink. And if you know people who are wine drinkers, connoisseurs, sommeliers, ask them what they drink give those a try and improve your health. If you're going to drink, you might as well do it to extend your life. Enjoy it, but also make it beneficial for you. So I hope these food guidelines are going to be helpful for you, and you can also use them to help save money. If it's being helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, as well as my other videos on faith, health, and beauty all year round. Now, if you don't have time to read the Blue Zones kitchen, you know the basis of the food guidelines, and you can use these to your benefit. I'll make a few more videos on some more information from the Blue Zones kitchen, and if you haven't already, check out my review along with Rascal Entertainment's of Live to 100, The Secrets of the Blue Zones, and also check out my videos where I give you information for each Blue Zone that was included in that documentary so that you can use them to your benefit as well. Thanks so much for watching me. I really enjoy you, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. My name is Julie. Continue to be happy, healthy, and whole. See you next time.